for 5 years at a time. No one would tell you what is coming next. They keep it as a secret, extremely confidential. However, we realized that Nvidia is not a technology company only anymore. In fact, we are an essential infrastructure company. And how can you plan your infrastructure, your land, your shell, your power, your electricity, all of the necessary financing around all over the world? How would you possibly do that if you didn't understand what I was going to make? And so we described our company's roadmap in fair detail, enough detail that everybody in the world can go off and start building data centers. We realize now we are an AI infrastructure company. An infrastructure company that's essential all around the world. Every region, every industry, every company will build these infrastructures. And what are these infrastructure? These infrastructure, in fact, not unlike the first industrial revolution, when people realized, GE, Westinghouse, Siemens, realized that there was a new type of technology called electricity, and new infrastructure has to be built all around the world. And these infrastructure became essential part of social infrastructure. That infrastructure is now called electricity. Years later, this is during all of our generation, we realized there was a new type of infrastructure. And this new infrastructure was very conceptual, very hard to understand. And this infrastructure called information. This information infrastructure, the first time it was described, made no sense to anybody. But we now realized it is the internet. And every internet is everywhere, and everything is connected to it. Well, there's a new infrastructure now. This new infrastructure is built on top of the first two. And this new infrastructure is an infrastructure of intelligence. I know that right now, when we say there's an intelligence infrastructure, it makes no sense. But I promise you, in 10 years' time, you will look back and you will realize that AI has now integrated into everything. And in fact, we need AI everywhere. And every region, every industry, every country, every company, all needs AI. AI has now part of infrastructure. And this infrastructure, just like the internet, just like electricity, needs factories. And these factories are essentially what we build today. They're not data centers of the past, a $1 trillion industry providing information and storage, supporting all of our ERP systems and our employees. That's a data center of the past. This is similar in the sense that it came from the same industry. It came from all of us, but it's going to emerge as something completely different, completely separated from the world's data center. And these AI data centers, if you will, are improperly described. They are, in fact, AI factories. You apply energy to it, and it produces something incredibly valuable. And these things are called tokens. To the point where companies are starting to talk about how many tokens they produced last quarter and how many tokens they produced last month. Very soon, we'll be talking about how many tokens we produce every hour, just as every single factory does. And so the world has fundamentally changed. We went from a company, on the day that we started our company, I was trying to figure out how big our opportunity was in 1993. And I came to the conclusion, NVIDIA's business opportunity was enormous. $300 million. We're going to be rich. $300 million chip industry to a data center opportunity that represents about $1 trillion to now an AI factory, an AI infrastructure industry that will be measured in trillions of dollars. And this is the exciting future that we're undertaking. Now, at its core, everything we do is founded on several important technologies. Of course, I talk about accelerated computing a great deal. I talk about AI a great deal. What makes NVIDIA really special is the fusion of these capabilities. And very especially, the algorithms, the libraries, what we call the CUDA-X libraries. We're talking about libraries all the time. And in fact, we're the only technology company in the world that talks about libraries nonstop. And the reason for that is because libraries is at the core of everything that we do. Libraries is what started it all. And I'm going to show you a few new ones today. But before I do that, let me show you a preview of what I'm going to tell you today. Everything you're about to see